All right, hey, this is shawnshawn, and I have a tip of the day. So one question I had was whether you should do one-off, kind of one-by-one paintings, or do a series of paintings, or even prints. So there are a couple of schools of thought on this. One is if you do one-offs, it's more like you put all your effort into it, you get a high-quality piece. Versus series, it can be kind of all over the place. The advantage of doing a series is it makes it easier for the reseller market. So eventually your artwork will be sold to the first generation, and then they'll sell when they pass or whatever. And I've even seen my artwork in the reseller market. So the advantage of doing a series is collectors like to buy what their friends have. So for example, if you look at Picasso, the reason why he's famous, for one reason, is he's done hundreds of prints, sometimes in a series. So each one of those prints, someone can buy that original print for, say, and because it's a limited edition, they can kind of collect that. So it's always good as a painting, before you get into prints, to do a series. So I usually do my personal series, I do like 4 at once, and so it's easier to record a video. I can make a video of that, and that's my advertising going forward. So I would encourage you to do series. If you don't get bored of it, you can do a lot. Like I've seen artists that become famous. My dogs are just going crazy. Artists that become famous usually do a series for a long time. They'll do one style forever. They get really well known for that style. Like there's a guy that paints rabbits. I think they look like crap, but he's painted hundreds and hundreds of rabbits, and those are starting to be sold. So he'll do a show and there'll be literally like 30 rabbits in one show, and then people go, oh, I gotta get the rabbit, and they'll buy it. So that's a pretty good strategy if you want to become collectible later. And once it's collectible, obviously your value of your art goes up fast. So you want to increase the value of your art fast, make it collectible, so work in that series kind of format. But yeah, if you want to do one-offs, do one-offs. For prints, I would only do prints once you get a high demand on your originals, because the print demand is going to be less than your originals unless you're really good. So wait till you get a really high demand, you're selling your artwork really fast, and you're starting to increase your prices. Then you can do a secondary market for your prints. I would encourage you to do that. The traditional way of doing it before they had print on demand was you'd kind of start a very small series, like say print of 5, and then maybe you go to print of 10, and then you go to print of 20. So the idea behind that versus doing 100 and then they sell for over 20 years is you really don't want to do that. You want to have that limited edition sell out. They become collectible, and then the next series you keep doing those 5, for example, and then once they sell it fast enough, you can move to, oh, okay, I do 7. Okay, that sells out fast. Go to 10. That sells out fast. Okay, then go to 13. That sells out fast. Go to 20, 30, 50, 100, 500. If you look, for example, at Shepard Fairey, the way he does his print selection, I think he holds on to his paintings. I'm not sure. He probably sells those as well. But he makes most of his money on the prints, and he does two categories. He does one category at kind of the high collector value, and I think those are like $500, and maybe he does a series, I think he does 50 to 100 of those, but he also does kind of the lower tier, and the lower tier is at $40, which anyone can afford. So obviously collector base is huge for that, right? And he does, I think, I want to say like 100 or 200 prints right now. So he's selling all that really fast, like literally in 20 seconds. So that's an ideal market to be in, where you get scarcity. So you can sell your prints, but there's scarcity, they go quick. You don't want to have them sit on your store forever. I've had prints and they didn't sell, so I just pulled them off and threw them away. So I would encourage you to only do prints once you get to selling your originals a lot, and then kind of slowly kind of move into that print market. You can do print on demand. I do print on demand. Why not? But it's not going to be highly collectible later, so the collecting value is very low, so people are just going to buy it. But the thing is, after you pass away in 50 years, these stores are going to get your copyrights anyway and just mass produce your art if you're famous anyway, so you might as well kind of ruin the brand in that way yourself. But I would only do the mass production on pieces. You don't want to, maybe your favorite pieces, like a few collector pieces. Shepard Fairey does an unlimited version of his Obey generic print, and then everybody else is kind of limited edition. So that's kind of what I would recommend. Only do a few versions that are open edition, and everything else kind of limited edition, so you can increase the collectability for the collector base, and they will drive your prices up. So always think of your collector in your mind if you want to make your name, make money, and then eventually make it very sustainable, right? Because if you're selling for high price dollar, you're going to be sustainable. If you're selling for low dollars, not that often, it's not very sustainable. So that's my tip of the day.